Hi, T.O.T. Carlson here. Today we continue my ongoing journey to rank the songs on every single Beatles album. Today we arrive at their 6th studio album, Rubber Soul. One of my all-time favorite Beatles albums, one of my all-time favorite albums, period. And now we're going to go through and rank all 14 songs on this record. Without further ado, let's get started. At the absolute bottom of the list at number 14, I have Michelle. Every single Beatles album has that one song that's just sort of out of place and just doesn't feel like it belongs, doesn't feel like a Beatles song. Michelle is that song on Rubber Soul. If another artist had recorded this song, I think it could have been better. As a Beatles song, it just feels very weird and out of place, and definitely one of the songs I don't find myself coming back to very often. At number 13, we have What Goes On. This is sort of a fun little country ditty that features Ringo on lead vocals. Most Beatles albums have like the one obligatory song with Ringo singing. And while this certainly isn't a bad song, it does feel a little lighthearted and silly compared to some of the other more introspective and deep stuff we get on this album. Number 12, we have I'm Looking Through You. This is a great Paul McCartney song that's kind of the perfect balance between a pop song and a ballad. Very catchy, and in my opinion, very underrated. The fact that this is so low on the list, yet such a great song, just goes to show how many great songs there are on the Rubber Soul record. At number 11, I have The Word. Again, this is another one of those pretty moody, but certainly catchy tracks. Something the Beatles did with ease on every single album. And another fairly underrated too. At number 10, I have Girl. This is another one of those deep, moody John Lennon songs, and of course he even manages to sneak a few little jokes into the songs that went right by George Martin, which only adds to its novelty. Again, a very good song on a very good album. At number 9, I have Wait, one of the later tracks on the album, and again, certainly a catchy one. Rubber Soul was that perfect album where they combined catchy pop tunes and more melodic, introspective pieces, often on the same album, and I think this is one of those songs that really demonstrates that. At number 8, I have Think for Yourself. This is one of the 2 George Harrison songs on here, and this is the album where he really came into his own as a songwriter. This is a great rocker. It's the lesser of the 2 songs he did on this record. We'll get to the other one a little later, but certainly a strong track and really shows the so-called quiet Beatle coming into his own. At number 7, I have You Won't See Me. This is a great, more pop tune, probably one of the more pop songs on Rubber Soul, but not really a bad thing because it's just so catchy and infectious, and in my opinion, another pretty underrated one. At number 6, I have Run for Your Life. I love how we start getting from John Lennon, the pop singer-songwriter, to John Lennon, the cynic, and I think this is one of the best songs from John Lennon, the cynic. Basically, literally saying he'd rather see his woman dead than with another man. I mean, who else could write songs like that? And despite that, it's still a catchy, fun song, despite the rather dark nature of the lyrics. At number 5, I have Drive My Car. This is how you start an album. This is just a straight-up rock tune, but it's also got the band's signature sense of humor on display there. Really sets the tone for everything to come and does it exceptionally well. At number 4, I have Nowhere Man, another one of these great introspective John Lennon pieces. This is a great song that on regular radio I don't think it really gets enough airplay, and that's a shame because it's a fantastic, deep, moody song, and yet still catchy. At number 3 on the list, I have the other George Harrison song, If I Needed Someone. In my opinion, George Harrison's first great song, a very melodic but still poppy ballad of sorts. He just does his absolute best on this one, and this is the moment, in my opinion, that Mr. Harrison really came into his own as a songwriter. Certainly one of my favorite Beatles songs. At number 2, I have In My Life, a great ballad from John Lennon. Very introspective, very deep. And of course, it's even got a great piano part that surprisingly does not sound out of place. I absolutely love this song and easily one of my favorite Beatles tunes. But my pick for the number 1 song on the Rubber Soul album would have to be Norwegian Wood. I mean, it's a great John Lennon piece, but George Harrison brings the sitar onto it, and that really adds that extra bit of atmosphere to it. I mean, whether this song is a true story or not, I'm not totally sure, but it certainly hooks the listener in its fairly short duration, and it's one of the Beatles' strongest pieces. And there you have it. What's your favorite song on the Rubber Soul album? Where would you rank this one in the Beatles' discography? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.